A new study just said this: if you skip breakfast, you might be increasing your risk of dying from heart disease. Yes. They're talking about intermittent fasting, something millions of us, including me, follow every day. And now, they say it raises your cardiovascular risk. Well, I'm Harold, 76 years old, a retired teacher, and a heart attack survivor. I've used time-restricted eating to help my body recover and stay strong. However, headlines like this now make seniors panic. Is there real danger in not eating for 16 hours? Or is this just another twist in the battle of health advice? Stick with me until the end, because I'll share 4 questions that every senior must ask before starting any fasting plan. And if you care about senior health, do this. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. Do you fast? Has it helped your heart health or made things worse? Imagine this: you've been doing everything right. Eating healthy, exercising, following a 16:8 intermittent fasting plan. And then bam, the news says you might die from it. That's what happened last week. A headline from a new study claimed that time-restricted eating increases your cardiovascular risk. And if you're over 60 like me, that hits hard. Here's what they reported: people who fast more than 16 hours a day have a 91% higher risk of dying from heart disease. Now that's terrifying. Until you read the fine print. Let me break it down. It wasn't a randomized controlled trial. It wasn't peer-reviewed. It wasn't even fully published. It was an abstract, a summary of a single observational study based on one thing: a 24-hour dietary recall. Meaning, what did you eat yesterday? Now, I don't know about you, but I can barely remember what I had for lunch 2 days ago. And here's where it gets strange. They didn't control for underlying health conditions, medications, or senior health risks. They didn't account for what time people went to sleep or woke up, which affects your metabolism. And yet, from all that noise, they made a dramatic conclusion. Why would they do that? Because fear sells, doubt sells. Confusion sells. Especially when it's funded by organizations like the American Heart Association, the same group that promoted seed oils and told us high cholesterol was the enemy for decades. So, what should you believe? If you've ever felt confused by health headlines, hit the like button and comment below. What's the wildest thing you've heard about fasting? And keep watching, I'm about to reveal 4 powerful studies that support fasting for heart health, especially for seniors like us. Here's the twist no headline showed you: intermittent fasting might not just be safe, it might be one of the best things you can do for your heart after 60. Yep. Let's put emotions aside and look at the real science. Study 1, 12-month trial on seniors. Participants used 16:8 time-restricted eating with light resistance training. Results: decreased body fat, improved insulin sensitivity, reduced inflammation. But here's the big one: improved cardiovascular function, without medication. That's not a theory, that's a measurable impact on real people. Study 2, controlled trial on fasting and waist circumference. Older adults practicing intermittent fasting lost inches off their waist, a known marker for cardiovascular risk. They reported better energy, fewer sugar crashes, and easier sleep. One researcher even said, "Waistline is a better predictor of heart attacks than cholesterol." Study 3, systematic review of 4 randomized trials. Participants showed drops in blood pressure, triglycerides, and visceral fat. This is the same type of fat that surrounds your organs, the silent killer. Study 4, 8 weeks with cancer survivors. Even breast cancer survivors benefited from a gentle 16:8 routine. Improved heart markers, less belly fat, better sleep quality, all essential to senior health. Now, if you're over 60, like me, you may be thinking, can I even fast safely at this age? The answer: yes, with the right structure and supervision. If you want me to break down how I fast at 76, with no hunger, no energy crash, and no risk. Comment Harold's fasting plan below, and I'll make a full guide for seniors like us. And next up, I'll tell you how I nearly lost my life to a heart attack, and how intermittent fasting gave me a second chance. They said fasting could harm your heart. But what if it heals it? Let's dive into the real science behind intermittent fasting, and its impact on cardiovascular health, especially for seniors. 1. Lowering blood pressure and improving lipid profiles. A comprehensive review published in eClinical Medicine analyzed 23 meta-analyses and found that it significantly reduces systolic blood pressure, LDL cholesterol, and triglycerides. These improvements are crucial for reducing the risk of heart disease. 2. Reducing inflammation. Chronic inflammation is a known contributor to heart disease. A study highlighted by the American Heart Association found that it increases levels of a protein that controls inflammation, thereby protecting the heart. 3. Enhancing insulin sensitivity. Improved insulin sensitivity means better blood sugar control, which is vital for heart health. It has been shown to enhance insulin sensitivity, reducing the risk of type 2 diabetes and associated cardiovascular complications. 4. Promoting weight loss and reducing visceral fat. Excess visceral fat is linked to increased heart disease risk. It helps in reducing body weight and specifically targets visceral fat, thereby improving overall heart health. In the next segment, I'll share my personal journey, how adopting it transformed my health and gave me a new lease on life. I didn't choose intermittent fasting to follow a trend. I chose it because I wanted to live to see my granddaughter graduate. When I turned 68, I faced something terrifying, a heart attack that nearly ended my life. That night, it was silent, sudden, and almost fatal. I remember waking up in the ICU, staring at the ceiling, asking myself, is this the end? But it wasn't. It was a beginning. As I recovered, I dove into every book, podcast, and video on senior heart health, determined not to go back to the man I used to be. That's when I stumbled upon intermittent fasting, more specifically, time-restricted eating. It wasn't about starving myself. It was about giving my body time to rest. Time to heal. I began with a 16:8 schedule, 16 hours of fasting, 8 hours for eating. The first week? Brutal. I missed my toast and jam, my second cup of morning coffee. But by day 10, something changed. My blood pressure began to stabilize. I slept through the night. I had energy again, enough to walk my dog, to play with my granddaughter, to feel like me again. Over 6 months, I lost nearly 25 pounds of dangerous visceral fat, lowered my cholesterol, and cut my medications in half, under my doctor's guidance. But the real gift? Clarity. Calm. Control. This wasn't just a diet. It was a declaration, I choose to protect my heart. Have you tried intermittent fasting? Drop a comment below and tell me your story. And stay with me, next up, I'll show you exactly how to build a simple routine that works for your heart and your lifestyle. Before you fast, ask yourself, who do I want to become? Fasting isn't a trend. It's a tool, one that only works when it's rooted in purpose. Start slow. Begin with a 12-12 window. Skip snacks, not meals. Hydrate. Sleep well. Listen to your body. Talk to your doctor. Don't chase perfection. Build habit identity, I am someone who protects my heart. Let every choice reflect that. And yes, fasting isn't for everyone. If you're managing blood pressure, cholesterol, or taking medication, you need professional advice. My tip: journal your progress. Write down how you feel, what you eat, and what you learn. You'll be surprised how far you've come in 30 days. You don't need to do this alone. Join our Facebook group. Ask questions. Learn together. What's one thing you'll do differently this week? Share it below. Let's inspire each other. Stay with me. Next, I'll show you the 7 habits that helped me stay sharp and strong in my 70s. I was 68 when I realized, growing old isn't the end, it's the beginning of who you decide to become. If you've watched this far, I want you to know, this isn't just a video. This is a new chapter. A chapter where you don't just survive, you live with strength, purpose, and heart health. If this story touched you, click subscribe. Tap the bell, it tells YouTube this message matters. Comment below, what habit will you start this week? Share this with someone over 60, you might just extend their life. We're not just building habits, we're building identity. I am someone who protects my mind, my heart, and my future.